What is going on, you beautiful stars? RTS Nova here, and I hope you're all doing well today. Silver can be a very difficult rank to get out of. I should know, as I was stuck there throughout Shifting Tides. However, since last season I've changed the way I play, and throughout Void Edge I've found myself floating between Gold 3 and Gold 1. So I want to share a few tips with you all which will hopefully help you in your pursuit for Gold rank. So the first area I want to talk about is actually something which I've mentioned before, and that's droning. Something which I've seen a lot of players do, and not just Silvers, is drone during the starting phase and maybe at the beginning of the round when they're about to enter a room or breach, and that's about it. But I cannot stress the importance of droning as you go. Now, what do I mean by droning as you go? Well, let's hop into a quick custom game on Coastline so I can give an example. Alright, so let's talk about droning as you go. Let's say bomb site is in penthouse, right? What you want to do is once you find the bomb site, or my personal advice, is set your drone up in the room you want to enter through. So we're going to come through Hookah with spawned ruins, so we're going to make our way there now. Alright, now obviously don't rush around like this in game, be careful of spawn peaks, but I'm just doing it for the sake of, efficiency. So we're finally at staircase. Now what I do is once I reach here, I don't come straight up and kind of sit here or maybe back there. I stay on the staircase. Alright. So I get on my drone and I give another check. Now the kind of areas you need to be careful of. You could always have someone laying down here or over here. They're two big spots in this room where people lay. But what I find as well is that roamers, they don't always enter the room, especially kind of the silver to gold areas. They sit, weirdly enough, kind of at this doorway, maybe even sitting back here thinking they've got a good angle, but they're peeking too far out. Now, the biggest advice I can give with droning, which I mentioned in my video, is don't ping. Right? I know that you're always tempted to, especially if you're solo queue and you think pinging is best for your teammates. And if you're not pushing in through this way, then that's fine. But say, because I'm here, we can get that kill. And the beauty of droning, right, and you'll see most pros say it, and I think Braxton mentioned it in one of his videos, who's a CL player, a really good YouTuber, is every drone is basically a kill for either you or your team if you're using it correctly. So let's just say someone's at the doorway, don't ping it, straight away, spray through it, and you should get the kill. I mean, if you look back on my old videos, not even old, last couple of weeks, every time I've played Coastline, I reckon 4 or 5 times I've pushed this room, I've managed to get a kill. Whether that's someone laying down here, someone over here, someone here. All because I didn't scan and I just shot through, and because I know where they are. That's the perk of not scanning. You know where they are and they don't know that you know that. And that's why a lot of people say that droning's a kill. And because you've got 2 drones, that should be 2 kills every round for you or your team. Now, once you've got full control of Hookah, obviously you make the call to your teammates, you want to check outside. So you want to check the Vibes staircase. You call it Vibes, Blue, whatever you want, Sunrise. You want to just say, yep, that's clear, so that's fine. And then you want to check into Billard. Now, what I see a lot of people do is lazy droning. Right, so when they come out, they'll go, clear, clear. Well, that's no good to anyone, is it? You want to do a proper check. So you want to check down there, go, yeah, okay. That's clear. Sometimes you have someone sitting here, so you want to make sure that's clear. Now, of course, there could be someone in Sunrise. I'm not going to go that far into detail with droning. You can if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you want to check Billards, and you want to go, right. No one's sitting at the chairs. Let's check around the corner. I've got no one sitting behind this bar. We've got no one laying behind Paul. And then don't stop there. You want to go into Aquarium as well, because you could. It's not that much of a distance between the two, so why would someone not just go here to be able to make their full way around to where we are? So you want to check behind here and say, no, that's clear. You want to check over here behind the bar and say, that's clear, and then you can make your move. But bring your drone back, just give one last little check on the staircase, because you don't know what could have happened at that time. Say it's clear, and get your drone set up ready for the next room. Now, before you push out, you want to just have one last double check, because like I just said, you don't know what could have happened in that short space of time. And once it's clear, you push out. Alright, now you can pretty much sit anywhere you want. If you know it's clear, you can sit upstairs, you can kind of sit here, or if you really wanted to, you could sit in Billards. So we're going to sit here just for the sake of it. And because we know we want to push VIP, that's what we're going to drone out next. So we're going to check here. Some people hide in this spot, so always be aware of that. You want to check in between the chairs here, that's clear. People camp here sometimes, and then you want to check Hall of Fame, because obviously the site's just around the corner. People hide in the shower. If your team's not breaching from up top, you want to check that, make sure it's clear. And then you also, want to check hallway, right? Because you'll find that some people sit this angle tight. You'll find that they sit there, they'll destroy the base and sit there. So you want to make sure that anywhere you can get pushed or killed from is, anywhere you can get pushed from or get killed from is clear. So after that, we're going to do the same again. We're going to set our drone up, watching Hall of Fame, right? And same tactic, slow peek it, just make sure that no one's there. If they are, you can take them out. Slow peek again, you want to make sure. Don't want to rush anything. Bang bang, everywhere's clear. We've got full control and we can now breach. Now what I find is that even if some people drone here, once they've done with the breaching and once they've got inside, they no longer drone. Now I'm not saying that what you should do is drone constantly, but a good idea now is set your drone up in a flank position, right? If we're going for the plant by bed, let's just say we've got a teammate push shower, we've droned out here and it's all clear. Still give, obviously once you've breached, drone sight out one more time just to double check. We've planted the corner and now we're kind of sitting, we've got a teammate on the reverse rappel, we've got us sitting here, and luckily for us, our teammate, if say someone's dead, can watch our flank with this drone. So you've always got to use your drone to your advantage. Even when bombs down, still use it to watch that flank. So if you do have teammates who have died, they can watch that for you. And then every round, I promise you, if you start doing that, you will start seeing improvements in your win succession in rounds. The next point I want to lightly touch up on, as it helped me hugely, is what angles I hold. Now, back when I first started Siege, I used to wide peek every angle. Now, what I mean by wide peek is pretty self-explanatory, and that is most of my body was out in the open whilst I was peeking. And if I'm brutally honest, I see a lot of people in Silver still do this. Take a look at some of these old clips I have from when I first started, and you'll see exactly what I mean. You can also see in the first clip, and even the second, I didn't even peek around the corner slowly, instead just rushing out, guns blazing, and I can promise you now, this will not win you games. Since then, I have improved drastically. So what I want to do is hop into another custom game and just show you what kind of angles I hold and what I would recommend for you guys to start winning more gunfights. Alright, so I'm just going to show you the basics of what not to do and... Alright, so I'm going to show you what you need to do in order to hold the tight angle. I'm going to use this doorway as kind of the perfect example. So let's just say you're trying to sit in this site and you're watching VIP. Right? Because let's be fair, attackers can flank around there, whatever. Hold this tight angle. Now the reason I say, you might think, well, how am I meant to get the shot off? Sometimes it's better not to and wait for them to push out. At least with this angle, you will see them run past, and when they do run past, you can then push out a bit more aggressively and get that kill. Alright? Always adjust your position if you need to. Same again. If you're trying to watch blue stairs, drop back a little bit maybe. And then just slowly peek around the corner. Make sure you don't want to rush out, you just want to peek slowly. You can see it's clear there, so you can keep on peeking if you need to. And then stops there, bang. Easy headshots, right? Kills for days. And I promise you, if you start doing this tactic of just taking your time peeking instead of just rushing out wide peeking, you will win more of your gunfights. Communication is another really important factor. And I know that most of you will know that anyway, so I won't go into much detail. The only thing I will say is that you need to remember that not all of your teammates are going to know what you mean by certain calls you make. So you always have to bear in mind that you may need to simplify it down for them. By just saying, he's in the room above us, or they're pushing the room to your right. Is Capital on me? Oh, shit, that's going to kill me, that's going to kill me. Oh no, so I made it out just alive. Oh, he's pushed me, he's pushed me. He's at my shield. Capital, 65% health. If he jumps over, there's a frost trap. If he hasn't destroyed it already. Good work. Other games, you may have teammates who call out certain rooms differently to you, and you might not have a clue what they mean, so don't be scared to say, look, I'm really sorry, where do you mean by this? If they want to win the game, they won't have a problem with explaining it to you. I also want to say that if you are solo queuing and you get in a lobby where all your teammates are just constantly speaking and you can't hear the game, don't be afraid to mute them. As much as you may want to hear if they make a call out or for you to make one to them, you also need to be able to hear yourself think, hear the game, and compose yourself. And you won't be able to with that much noise. And when it comes to choosing an operator, you should always wait to see what your teammates pick. And then choose what operator the team needs, not what you want. There's been so many times I've joined a game and on defense the team has gone with Cav, Ela, Vigil and Jaeger. And I'm left alone anchoring sight, as they all picked the operator they wanted to play as, not what the team needed. And having that mentality won't work. So the key thing to take away is to always try and pick your operator last and don't be selfish. Now when it also comes to choosing operators, not only do you have to pick around your team, but also around what site the bombs are on. And to me this falls under situation awareness. Let's for example take Chalet and Snowmobile and Wine Cellar as the sites. As an attacker, you know that you will need at least one hard breacher, so whether that's a Thermite or a Hibana, as well as a Thatcher, Maverick or Twitch to try and destroy any bandit or K-traps which may stop you from breaching. If none of your team have gone as those three operators, then in my opinion there is no point going as a hard breacher. You need to try and change the game up, so maybe go as an IQ, a Sophia, whoever. Unless you're going to try and get in from the garage which has a Jeep in it, then you can stay as a Thermite or Hibana. Now if you're the defending team, then in my opinion you must have a Cade or Bandit on your team to try and stop the garage pushes, to try and stop the hard breaches from garage as well as hatches being breached. A Jaeger is always useful, and to me one of the best operators on Chalet to have is Echo. If the attacking team does breach Snowmobile, they normally try and plant that diffuser behind the green bin, or literally by that garage door so they can go back outside and sit behind the Snowmobiles out there. So if you're Echo, you can stop that from happening with your Yokai drone, and it can be very powerful late rounds. This also leads me on to my next factor, which is map knowledge. Of course, this is something that comes in time. However, you can speed that process up by hopping into custom games and running around the map yourself, learning where every camera and hatch is located, what walls and floors are soft, as well as coming up with a game plan for each site. Knowing every bit of detail on the map, on each map really, works hand in hand with communication, as you will always be confident when giving or receiving a call out. The last two subjects I want to speak about quickly are ones that really irritate me and what I would highly advise against. The first is spawn peeking. How many times have you been in a lobby where you've seen one of your teammates go as Doc, go for the spawn peek and get clapped? I understand that if you get the kill then you've given your team a huge advantage early on by taking it to a 4v5. And as well, who doesn't like the glory, am I right? But then there's also that 50% chance that you get killed, and it's not worth it. At the end of the day, you are defending. You have set the sites up exactly how you want them. This is your house. Only your team will know how you set that site up, so use it to your advantage and force the enemy to play to your strengths and traps, not the other way round. Now in the same sentence, I want to speak about Castle and how I've seen people use him for defending sites. Let's be honest, most of you already know where I'm going with this, and that's the Castle players who decide to barricade everyone inside and keep them trapped in. There is nothing more irritating than seeing this happen, and anytime it's happened to me, I've tried to speak in game chat to the Castle, I've pinged at the barricades for him to take it down, nothing. And then when I go to take it down myself, I get shot. The problem is with this, is that I understand what they're trying to say. You're making it more difficult for them to breach site, you know, and I get that. And to an extent I agree, but the problem is you've trapped everyone in such a small area now. Your roamers are trapped in here, your anchors are forced to play a certain way, all because you've blocked them in certain areas. Now not always this one, sometimes it's here and obviously at other sites. Everywhere will be barricaded, all this will be barricaded up and reinforced. These two will be like little breach holes to peek through. But the problem is, what's the point? You've lost your sight vision there, you've lost any sort of vision you have there, and any sight you have here. And that's the issue I have with the castle barricades, is how much sight you lose. If it's a decent attacking team, they would have destroyed the cameras. So I rely on keeping this open, right? I rely on this being open, and I rely on this being open. So I at least have somewhere where I can look as an anchor. I can sit in the back of theatre, just here, and keep an eye on the hatch drop, right? And it should go to the boys. Right, they're dropping in now. Easy kills.
Same here. I can have a little look at Hall of Fame and go, right, they're in Hall of Fame. Easy. The way you should play as Castle, in my opinion, is delay the attacks, but a bit further out. This is a perfect reinforcement, in my opinion, right here. It delays them pushing Hall of Fame, but still gives you the sight you need into Hall of Fame to see when they do push. Once again, same in here. I think this is a perfect reinforcement. You delay them pushing into VIP, but you don't lose any line of vision, which means once they do push, you can get the kill. The last barricade you can really put wherever. Sometimes I recommend putting it here to delay the push to Hookah and force them to play different ways, potentially if they don't have a hard breach, or they've just got to sit on that barricade punching away. But yeah, if you're that Castle player who does that, please stop and rethink what you're doing, because it really does affect your team.
Alright, well that's the end of the video, and I really hope that these tips help you make that final push to goal that you've been searching for. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe, as your support means the world to me. And let me know down in the comments if these tips have helped you, or even if I've missed anything off. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, as well as follow me on Twitch, as that's where all the clips you see on this channel come from. With us, we've been playing a bit of Warzone, and soon we'll be venturing into other games, so come along and say hi. Other than that, stay safe. I love you all. Goodbye.